Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to go on a kind of treasure hunt, but not for gold. We're looking for the secret messages that authors hide in their stories, right in plain sight. Let's jump in and figure out how to spot them. You know that feeling, right? When you finish a story and it just sticks with you? It almost feels like the author was trying to tell you something really important, something way bigger than just the plot. Well, guess what? That feeling is totally real. Stories are packed with these big ideas, and today we're going to learn the master key to unlock them.
So, how do they pull it off? Authors have this incredible, almost secret tool they use to point us to the big idea without just, spelling it out for us. And we're about to add that exact same tool to our own reading toolbox. And here's the secret. It's actually pretty simple. Forget about the huge plot twists for a second. The real magic happens when a character has to make a choice, especially a tough one. What they decide to do right there, in that moment of pressure, well, that tells us everything we need to know. Okay, and this brings us to the main technique. I want you to imagine two people standing at a fork in the road. They are facing the exact same problem, the same challenge, but one person decides to go left and the other goes right. Watching which path they choose and what happens because of it, that's how we find the story's secret message.
And that big idea, that secret message, it has a name. It's called the theme. And the way authors show it to us is honestly genius. They put two characters in the exact same tough spot, and then they just let us watch what happens. The difference, that contrast between how they react, makes the theme pop.
All right, let's make this real. Here's a situation I think we can all relate to, right? A moment of failure. So, you've got two students, Troy and Zara. They both fail a test, the exact same problem. Now, let's see what happens next. And here it is, the fork in the road. Look at Troy's response. He immediately blames the teacher and just gives up on the whole class. But Zara, she takes a totally different path. She takes ownership. She goes and talks to the teacher and decides she's going to work even harder. See that? Same problem, two completely different responses. So, looking at those two reactions, who is the one actually showing us the story's big idea? Who is demonstrating that taking responsibility is the thing that helps you grow? It's Zara, obviously, right? By seeing her positive action right next to Troy's negative one, the message becomes crystal clear. You're getting this. This is awesome. Let's try another one. I want you to think of yourself as a detective now. We've got another situation, another big choice, and another hidden theme to uncover. Let's solve this case together.
Okay, here's the setup. A group project gets a really good grade, but two boys in that group, Marcus and Nico, they both know the truth. The group cheated. So now they're both stuck with the same moral problem. What do you do?
So let's look at Marcus first. He makes the hard call. He knows his friends are probably going to be mad at him, but he steps up anyway and tells the teacher the truth. And pay close attention to the result. After all that stress, his final feeling is relief. It's peace.
Now over to Nico. He takes what seems like the easier path. He keeps his mouth shut, avoids getting in trouble, and even laughs along with the group. But look at the hidden cost. He can't sleep that night. That guilt, that inner conflict, it's eating at him.
So once again, let's look at the evidence. You've got two boys who know the same exact secret. But which one faced it? Who chose to do the right thing, even though it was going to be socially difficult? It was Marcus, for sure.
And boom! That's how the author reveals the theme. They didn't need a narrator to say, honesty is the best policy. Nope. They just showed us Marcus's hard choice and his feeling of peace, and put it right next to Nico's easy choice and his feeling of restlessness. We don't just read the theme, we actually feel it.
You know, this leads to a really powerful way of thinking about all this. Imagine these situations are like a mirror. When two people face the same truth, their reactions become like two different reflections, showing us two versions of who we could be in that moment.
Just let those words sink in for a second. One truth, two people. The truth is like a light. It's constant, it's steady. But how we choose to react to it, whether we step into that light or turn away from it, that's what changes the reflection we see in the mirror.
And that's the real power here. Sometimes you don't need a long, complicated argument. All you need is that side-by-side comparison. The contrast between those two reflections makes the right path just incredibly obvious.
And this is why this all matters so much. This skill of spotting the theme, of understanding the choice, it isn't just for reading books.
This is a tool for your own life. It's about learning how to see the right path in your own story.
You know, there's that line in the Psalms about God's word being a light to my path, and that's exactly what we're talking about here. By learning to see clearly how different choices lead to different places and stories, we get a brighter light to guide our own feet when we're the ones standing at a fork in the road.
We've looked at examples, we've talked about metaphors, but let's just zoom out for a second. What's the ultimate point of all this? What are we supposed to do with this knowledge?
Well, it really boils down to this. First, just being smart isn't enough. An education without a moral compass, without knowing how to make good choices, can actually do more harm than good. Second, when you get that, you realize a simple truth. Making smart, moral choices is what leads to a better life. And finally, that feeling of relief Marcus had, that's real. When you line up your actions with what you know is right, that's when you find true, lasting peace.
So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. The next time you're at a crossroads, facing a hard choice, think about those two paths. Think about that mirror. When that light of truth shines on you, what will your reflection show? Thanks for diving into this with me today.